It's another Sunday morning live stream, so go ahead and unroll your mat and let's join me. Let's get started. So welcome. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name's Lorelei and this is Namasturm Yoga. I teach a lot of minimal cues flow classes here on YouTube, but you know, I do also sometimes like to talk. So today we're just going to be waking up together with a little shared home yoga practice. So go ahead and, you know, jump into something comfortable and get your mat out and take your time. Maybe get yourself some tea to have nearby if you would like something like that. And we're going to start sitting. I start most of my classes sitting just because I think it's a great way to kind of get grounded and prepared to slow down, but we will move soon, I promise. It's a morning class. This isn't going to be like a super intense or vigorous class. That said, it's also not like yoga for beginners. I will kind of trust that you have some idea of what the poses are and how to align them. I actually think if you're brand new to yoga, you can absolutely learn yoga online, but it can be helpful sometimes to have somebody actually watching your practice and give you some, you know, some guidance, some adjustments in case you need that. But if you're practicing yoga at home on a regular basis, sometimes it's just nice to like share a practice, have someone else lead you so you don't have to think too much, but then, you know, modify or adjust, listen to your body, do what you need to do. That said, let's just sit for a minute. So hands to your knees. Take a really nice deep breath through the nose and then just exhale through the mouth. Do that again. Let your sit bones settle into your mat. Let your hands rest heavily on your knees. Allow your shoulders to relax down away from your ears. Feel the weight of your eyelids covering up your eyes. Don't squeeze them, just let that be soft. Let your tongue just rest down inside of your mouth, relaxing your jaw without letting it go slack, so our lips are still together. And then start to focus in on your breathing. Once you've created a little space and a little quiet, it can sometimes be a good idea to set an intention for your practice. That can be whatever you want. So, you know, if your intention for your practice is to send good energy into the world for this reason or that reason, or you want to dedicate your practice, absolutely. If your intention for your practice is to warm up your hips, that's also perfectly fine. Maybe you're looking for balance. Maybe you're looking for restoration or calm. Maybe you're actually looking for a little bit of a workout, a little bit of strengthening. Up to you, it's totally fine. It might inform the way in which you practice, and it can also keep you engaged so that you're not like checking out and feeling like, ugh, why am I here at all? Hopefully you're here for a reason. So set that as an intention, and then let's just move to hands and knees. So we can do some cat-cow stretches like almost every single time I warm up this way. Feels so good. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, head and tail lift, chest and belly drop. And then exhale, going the other way. We know this sequence, right? But sometimes it's helpful to like approach it as if it's a little bit new. Like, oh, how does my spine move? Can I maybe even start from the tailbone and let the movement snake through my spine so that I'm not moving all at once, but everything is moving one vertebra at a time. Follow your breath. This is a great place to introduce your Ujjayi breathing as well. I sometimes forget to notice the space between my shoulder blades. We're really mobile, or at least, we could be really mobile in that upper back area. This sequence isn't just for like the lower and the mid back, but that upper back has an opportunity to really move. And then after you've done a few of those, give yourself a little more freedom here, a little more permission to kind of move at will in directions that feel good. Like, almost like, oh, I've got an itch to scratch here, over here on this side. This body wants to move that way. Maybe then keep it symmetrical, but honestly, we don't live symmetrical lives, so our bodies may not be wanting symmetrical attention. If you need to do something asymmetrically to kind of get what you need, feel free. You can drop your hips back, you can bend your elbows, you can drop your chest. I would say like the rules would be keep your hands and knees in place. And then after you've spent a little time here, as long as you want, spend longer if you want, but then finally we're gonna make our way to just an easy down dog. By that, I mean, yes, we do wanna work the upper body, spreading the fingers, rooting down with the hands, lengthening the arms, but the legs can be really soft, knees really bent, heels really lifted as you focus on stretching out that upper body. Allow your head to hang heavy, and then if it feels good, pedal out the feet. All right, and then let's walk the hands back to the feet actually and come to a nice standing forward fold. So just a dangling, soft knees. Let your upper body hang, let your head hang. You can grab opposite elbows if you like. And then releasing the elbows, let's roll up to standing. We're at the back of the mat. I'm actually gonna take off my sweater because it's pretty cold here, but believe it or not, I'm feeling warm enough to let that go a little bit. But get yourself comfortable here. We're gonna go ahead and from the back of the mat, inhale, reach the arms out and up, and then exhale, dive down over the legs. From here, let's bring the fingers a little bit forward and take the right leg up into the air behind you. This is a standing split, but it's still early. Don't take it too much to heart, right? It doesn't have to be a strong stretch. It's more just like get the leg up in the air and let your body relax down. Now we're going to transform this into down dog split. So walking the hands forward. Sometimes we tend to want to keep the shoulders over the wrists. That's not wrong, but if you can, see if you can walk the hands ahead of the shoulders so that you're actually walking your spine right into down dog. And then look forward and step your right foot all the way forward. Let's take the back knee down, extend the toes, nice low lunge, and you could bring your hands to your front knee, sinking the hips forward, or I'm gonna offer a little side stretch option here. Taking the arms up, you can bend the left elbow and grab that elbow with the right hand and just kind of draw slightly in the direction of that right leg to stretch the left side of the body. Breathing into the rib cage here. All right, and then let that go. Fingertips to the floor. Let's just straighten up the front leg gently and keep the toes on the floor. I've got my tea here. I'm gonna grab a sip. I'm still pretty hot. I guess that's good. And just let yourself fold gently. Ardha Hanumanasana, we'd pull the toes back, so you could do that too, but I think it's kind of sometimes nice to like stretch the top of the foot this way. And then hands to the mat. Take your right knee back to join the left. Let's go ahead and lower the heart down. And you could scoop through. We're coming to Cobra, so you could do this scoop through if you prefer, or you could just lower to your belly and then find Cobra. And listen, if your low back is giving you any issues today, stay with either low baby Cobra, or you could even come to Sphinx pose. So it's just a small back bend. And it's mostly for the upper back. We don't want to strain the low back in any way. And in fact, we definitely, whatever pose you're in, want the legs to be relaxed behind you, hips, glutes, all of that. And then coming to down dog. So tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips, heart back. Maybe this down dog is a little stronger than the earlier one. Rooting into the hands, really pushing forward and down with them to help the hips go up and back, lengthening. Notice your arms here. See if you can almost like take the upper arm and rotate in and lift up to give it a little bit more strength. And then walk the hands back to the feet. And let's go ahead and bend the knees and roll up. Inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms at the top. Exhale, dive down. Let's just do that one more time. Bend the knees, roll up on an inhale. And this time, as we dive down, we're going to take the fingers forward and then lift the left leg into the air, because we got to play symmetrical. Fold your body into your right leg. Don't strain here. It's kind of just like we're just letting that foot go higher than the hip for a moment to change the blood flow. And then walking the hands forward towards down dog split. Again, if you can keep the hands ahead of the shoulders and keep the spine long, you'll be just right in it. Look forward and bring that left foot up. Step forward. Make sure your knee ends up over your ankle and that you're not like with your foot weight tucked back by your hip. Lower the right knee down, extend the foot, and come on up. Sink the hips forward. Nice low lunge here. But again, if you'd like, bring up that right arm, grab the elbow, and pull over for a little side stretch. And then release, fingertips to the mat. And again, let's just straighten that left leg. So doing what we did on the first side, on the second side, as best we can. Including the sip of tea. Drink your tea symmetrically, please. All right, and then we'll slide the left knee back to join the right and lowering down again. Cobra pose. Let's just drop back for child's pose. So take your knees a little wide and the feet can come together. Hips to heels, lengthening out. And then rolling up, let's just come to our feet here. So just tuck your toes under you, come to the center of your mat, and roll on up. I kind of feel like doing a little mandala today, so we're going to try to spontaneously construct that. Let's take the feet out wide for Prasarita Padottanasana. So we'll start here. Feet parallel, hands on the hips, and then let yourself fold on down. Bring your fingertips to the ground, maybe palms come between the feet, let your head hang heavy. Shift the weight forward toward the balls of the feet. And then carefully come on up. Nice and strong. Let's turn the right toes open. Inhale, reach the arms, and then we're going to shift into triangle pose, Trikonasana on the right. Reaching with the sides of the body as well as the arms and legs. Leaning head and shoulders back. Look up towards your lifted thumb and make sure that your arm is actually vertical. A lot of times in classes I'll see, people will have a hard time getting their chest open. So the shoulder will be shoved forward, but they'll get their arm up. And this is really misaligned. So it would be better to have the arm out, but connected to the shoulder. The idea is to turn your whole torso if you can, so that the arm and shoulder stay, engaged properly. Let's inhale, come on up, and then we're going to take just a high lunge crescent pose to the right. So lunge into that front foot, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. And then let's take the left hand down for a nice easy twist. Take the right arm up. And turn to the floor. Plank pose. So step the right foot now to join the left. Reach through the head, reach through the heels, strong through the core. And lowering your body down. Maybe knees come down first, however you like to do that. Cobra, or you could be an up dog if that's what you prefer. So we're just taking a vinyasa, downward facing dog, and breathe. Now let's take the right leg into the air, open the hip and bend the knee, point the knee to the sky, drop the heel to the hip. Twist the low body open, shoulders level. And then look forward, step that right foot forward. This time, let's take a warrior one, back heel down. So we're still working on that right leg. Come on up. Lunging in, reaching high. Try to keep the hips square, aligned with the front edge of your mat. And then bring your hands to interlace behind your back for a humble warrior. If those hands don't reach, grab a sock between them or whatever you got, right? So that they can connect. Shoulder blades together and down. Lunge deep. You can bring your chest to your thigh, or you could drop your whole torso down inside of your front leg. Now, keeping your body really low, let's let go of the arms, and we're going to come to a bind. So if you can, just start to turn yourself open, right arm under right leg. You could do that, or you could also plant your palm and just take a half bind here. But if you're able to, go ahead and come to that. And you might adjust your back foot now so the back arch lines up with your front heel. Turn your chest open. And then from here, we're going to float up into warrior two. So maybe adjust your foot position if it didn't get quite adjusted before. Lunging, look over that front set of fingers, the right fingers. And then simply straighten up that front leg, turn the feet parallel. Let's take a second variation of Prasarita. You could just do the same thing with hands down between the feet, or you could grab the big toes. You could take your hands behind the back, but we just did the humble warrior, so I'm gonna suggest something different. I'm gonna do this one more, just turn the hands the other way. This doesn't seem like that different of a variation, but it actually is. As you fold, instead of just bending your elbows over the wrists, you can actively walk the hands back behind you so the arms stay long. Let your head hang down. Continue to lift the quads, open the backs of the legs. And then bring your hands to your waist, root down with the feet and come up. This is really more of like a half mandala than a full one. We're gonna turn to the left. So it just kind of means going around in a circle. Moving into triangle. So front heel and back arch now align. We're on the left side. Reach the arms up and then keeping that front knee straight, shift into triangle pose. Top arm up, leaning back. Again, just, give yourself the alignment cues that you know are the ones that you need. And then we're gonna adjust to a high lunge. Crescent pose. So gazing now towards the left foot, adjust so you're on the ball of the back foot, arms up, lunging deeply, steady the gaze, strong back leg. And then we're going to take a twist, so you can take your right hand down and then the left arm's going to lift up. Turn to the mat. Plank pose. When you're ready, lowering, take the vinyasa that works for you. Okay, so we'll complete this circle with the second half of the second side, right? So we're on the left. Take the left leg up, open the hip, and bend the knee. And then look forward to step it forward for warrior one. Right heel's gonna pivot down now as you come on up. Lunging, gazing forward. Arms reach. From warrior one, begin to transition to your humble warrior. As you're bringing your hands together behind the back, see if you can lace your fingers the other way. It might feel unusual unless you do this all the time and are always alternating for balance. And then moving towards a bound extended side angle. Keep your body low. You can move your left arm under your knee and reach behind you for your bind. But if that doesn't work, just plant your left palm on the mat. And this right arm can just reach behind and try to grab the top of that left thigh. Adjust your feet now so your back arch lines up with your front heel. And so you can just open a little more. Tuck your left hip into the pose. And then when you're ready to float up, theoretically, the legs don't need to change much. Warrior two, and we'll just take a good 5 breaths here. And then straighten that leg, come on up, parallel the feet, and then let's just jump them together. Ooh. Let's take tree pose, moving into a little bit of balance here. So standing on the right foot, bring this, I'm gonna step back for a second. My head gets so easily cut off. Step back, stand on the right foot, bring the sole of the left foot to the upper inner thigh. If that upper inner thigh is not accessible, you can bring it to the calf or the shin. Bring palms together in front of the heart. And then maybe let those arms lift up. From here, let's see if we can stay balanced and transition to eagle pose. So arms are gonna come out. Because the left leg is gonna go over the right, we want the left arm under the right. At least that's the way I learned it. Lift the elbows up off the chest. And then once we've got the arms, now just slide that left leg over the right, crossing thighs and bending the right knee. You might be able to tuck toes, you might not, up to you. Either way is fine. And then from here, let's take a short chair pose, Utkatasana. So unwind, feet together. And then coming up, as you come up, you can bring your right foot with you. We're gonna stand on the left and move to tree pose, side 2. Vrikshasana. Palms together. And this can be a little more stabilizing, gaze steady, and then just that tiny bit of pressure between the palms to kind of mirror the pressure between the foot and the leg, or you can take those arms up if you like. More advanced if you want to, you could even bring the palms together and then lift your gaze and look to the thumbs. But that will challenge your balance, not a bad thing, but just to know. Let's take the arms out then, and we're gonna do the same thing moving towards eagle. So right arm under left, lift the elbows, and then the right leg is gonna cross over the left as that left knee bends. Garudasana. And then unwinding the legs, again, chair pose, Utkatasana. This is everybody's favorite, right? I'm gonna actually turn the other direction on my mat. You can do that if you'd like to. And then we're gonna simply try to lower the sit bones to the mat, which may or may not be done without hands. If you can do it, go for it. If not, obviously put the hands down rather than falling, and then we're gonna lift the shins for boat pose, Navasana. Feet to the mat, hands behind you, plug your shoulders in. Let's just do a nice reverse table here. Hips up, chin in, or head back. And slowly lowering down, sit bones to the ground. Let's come into another boat. Maybe extending a little further this time. And then if you'd like, reach for the big toes, or you could grab also the outer edges of the feet. Push the feet into the hands. Move your chest towards your legs. Take the legs out nice and wide. And soles of the feet in Baddha Konasana. Yay. Leaning everything forward. So listen, when you get a chance, let me know in the comments if you are watching live, which I think is probably not a ton of people, just because not a lot of people are aware that I'm doing these live practices yet. So live is 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. If you are watching at a later date, also let me know that. And honestly, because I've just started doing this live stream, I'm not sure what is the best time for most of the people who would watch live if they were available. If you have any thoughts, let me know. I will not be able to honor all of them. But let me know, like, what time is 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday from where you are? Does that work for you? Could you join at that time? Because I would love to have people joining live and saying hello during the time. So let me know if that's something you'd like to share. But yeah, I'd love to keep doing these, but I'm curious. Is this something that people want? All right, let's go ahead and come up from that, and we're gonna lower down onto our backs now. So ha ha ha, yay, we've gotten to the mat finally. Isn't that nice? Last week we actually started on the mat, which sometimes feels nice. Today we spent more time on our feet. Let's go ahead from here, cross the right leg over the left. So just cross the ankle on the thigh and reach behind the left thigh and draw that in towards you. And then let's lower the left foot down, but keep the right ankle crossed. Bring your upper arms by your sides, press down, and lift the hips. So we're kind of going into like a one-legged bridge. If you're able, roll the shoulders underneath you. See if you can interlace the fingers below. But if that's too much, just push down with the upper arms. Give yourself a little lift. You're probably not going to get as high of a bridge with one leg as you would with two, but just see what happens here. And slowly guide yourself back down to your mat, and let's switch it up. So left ankle is going to cross onto the right thigh, reach behind that right quad, draw your legs in towards your body. This is giving us, it should be giving a little bit of a hip stretch, glute stretch for the left side, that leg that's crossed over. And then we'll do the same thing. So slowly lower your right foot down. Root down with that foot, and then root down a little bit with the upper arms just to give a little pressure into the mat as you try to lift the hips up. And maybe the arms just stay here. Actually, I think this is probably more comfortable than trying to interlace the arms below you. But if you did that on the first side and it felt good, go for it. And then slowly return your spine to the mat. Happy baby pose. Bend the knees, grab the outer edges of the feet and rock a little bit from side to side here. And then we're just gonna do a really nice simple supine twist. So knees into chest, arms out. Drop the knees to the right. Make sure you're not going to knock over your tea if your legs are going off your mat or, whatever might be there. Turn your head back to the left, away from your legs. Hey, let's switch directions. What a surprise. Bring the knees back through center. Let them fall to the left and turn your head to the right. And coming up again. All right, this is where we roll back up to seated. However, if you're like, hey, I'm good just staying down for a while, we're almost at the end of the practice, so you could just go into Shavasana from here. If you'd like to roll up, roll through the spine, shoulders to hips. If this feels like a nice massage on your back, keeping the back really rounded, do more. If it feels really crummy, if the tailbone hurts or if you feel like you're clumping, do less. And then come on up and we're just gonna take the legs out for a good Paschimottanasana. Flex into the feet, engage the quads. From Dandasana, staff pose, inhale, reach the arms, and then exhale. Draping over the legs for a good forward fold. I feel like this is the pose that like we could have just been here the whole time, right? But we couldn't have really because our body wouldn't have probably been warmed up enough for this to actually feel good. So I think like that's what I love about a balanced yoga practice, which can be done in even a pretty short amount of time, is that we're countering what we're doing with something else, and that something else feels so much better and so much rewarding because the thing went before, right? It's sort of like, you know, light and dark, good and bad, happy and sad, right? Like we need to have a little bit of both in order for the other to have meaning or value. So after a little bit of a practice where we're moving, to do a deep forward fold where we're finding stillness, where we're focusing inward and we're trying to be calm, I feel like the significance is so much more pronounced than if we just did a forward fold and called it a day. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands back in, bring your body back up, shoulders back. I'm gonna put my sweater back on because now that we're cooled down, it's a little chillier in here. Come to an easy seated position, back to Sukhasana, crossing your legs. Again, you could also come down to your mat and take a little Shavasana, but I would like to end here with you. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so very much for joining me today and sharing a practice. Namaste. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your weekend or the week if you practice this at another time. Again, I'd love your feedback in the comments. You know, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the practice, or even if you're just here and want to give me a little support. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned, I have so many classes already on my channel that you could just go and watch it at any time. And I think it really can support a home yoga practice to have someone guide you through stuff, right? Like we all want to practice at home, but like even me, I know I do a lot of home yoga practices and sometimes it's like, but having someone else kind of give you an idea of what to do next, it just, you know, it moves you forward. It keeps you from, it reduces resistance, let's just say. So I hope you'll join me and subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next time. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.